Hello, good day everyone, and welcome back to my blog. So currently, currently our work task today is, or the work task that I was assigned to right now is actually okay. So Pumpy's kind of, there's kind of speaking to me. Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, currently Pumpy, my work assignment right now is basically help out Pumpy in opening the void space and ventilating it. So a very simple task, to be honest. So it's not gonna take a while. And so there we go. Pumpy's already got some materials, so he's kind of calling some authorization. He's kind of more like preparing some stuff. So yeah, we kind of prepared it, and now we're going down. So anyway, this is not that hard work. We're just simply, I'm just basically assisting. I'm just gonna assist Pumpy here in opening this void space here, the one that you're looking at. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's the thing. So we have to open it and ventilate it, because the main reason why we're opening this one is because there's some sort of void space inspection that Chief Mate mentioned earlier during the toolbox talk, and that is of course something about that, something about you know, he mentioned something about the inspection of the void space, something like that, and Pumpy is more like the one assigned to open the void space. By the way, we have two void spaces here on this ship. Well, there are a lot of void spaces on this ship, of course, but the ones that were assigned that we're going to inspect, or that was inspected by, or opened up by Pumpy, sorry. Yeah, I mean, Pumpy was the one who was in charge of opening those void spaces. He was assigned on the port and starboard void space area. So the port side void space area was already open and inspected a day ago. So this time we're going to open and open and inspect the starboard side void space. So for now, we're having problems with the opening the void space, because it's kind of, the bolts and nuts is heavily already painted, so the size of the ratchet, or the what do you call this, the wrench that we brought along wasn't exactly fitting because of the paint. So we had to chip out the paints here for us to remove those bolts, and Pumpy right now. So we already also carry ourselves a chipping hammer, the one that you're looking at here. This one, yeah, that's our chipping hammer. So we're going to chip away on that. So yeah, I'm going to assist Pumpy in chipping away this paints on the bolts and nuts, just to make so that we could remove it easily, and the wrench could fit in on those bolts and nuts. Oh yeah, if you ask me, void space, by the way, just as an educational information, void space on ships is basically, well, from the name itself, void. It doesn't have anything on board. It doesn't have anything inside of it. It's not used for storage. It's not used for fuel or of any kind. It's just basically what's inside the void space is simply nothing but air. Well, technically it's supposed to be air. Well, but it's just basically void space as part of the structure. So it doesn't have any function or even storage. It's not even used for storage. But sometimes, let's face it, most seafarers use the void space as a form of storage. Like say they want to store some garbage that does not that's already let's just say it's already what do you call this, it's already if the garbage room is already filled up to the brim, we kind of use it as an extra storage, as to fill it up with garbage. or in some cases, of course, the illegal ones, of course. I'm not mentioning it, of course, officially. Some ships store it to store some other stuff, like say cigarettes. And also, that's one thing that the authorities also search void spaces, because sometimes it can be used to store some stuff that are, let's just say, prohibited and not exactly legal. So I'm not gonna mention it, of course, on YouTube what was that, but let's just say some sort of illegal substances, something like that. So of course the authorities always check this as well, the void spaces, to ensure that there is no such thing inside this blank spaces of the ship. So I'm just saying this, of course, out of my experience, since I am, of course, on the merchant marine. And sometimes we kind of use these spaces to store some stuff. Oh yeah, one more thing. One thing that I should tell: void spaces is not exactly, the atmosphere inside void spaces is not exactly suitable. So entering void spaces, or before any seafarer enters void spaces, the atmosphere of these tanks or spaces should always be checked first as a standard procedure, because there are some void spaces that have very low oxygen, or in some cases those void spaces contain gases that are either toxic or toxic for the human health. Now, right now, we're still opening up, me and Pumpy is still opening up the void space here, and we're kind of a bit careful in opening it up because we might ruin the gaskets. So you can see here, I am using as well a pocket knife there, just to ensure that the gaskets do not, they don't get damaged from our, opening up on this void space. Also, we're kind of using a chipping hammer here. So anyway, this might sound a very simple task, but it will take us at least around 30 minutes at least to open it up. So I'm kind of shortcutting some videos here that I have recorded earlier during work. Now, since we can't open it, or the gasket is pretty much stuck on the void space lid, we kind of use also a crowbar here to open it up. So you can see here, Pumpy is opening up the void space using the crowbar, and at the same time he has to be delicate enough not to damage the gaskets. Now, the gaskets is basically the seal on this lids. Basically, it's think of it as an airtight seal. So yeah, and we could also use any pointed objects like the screwdriver, just to ensure that we can open it, as long as we don't damage the the gaskets. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me check on my profile here. I see if I could Google what's the definition of void space, but right now the problem with my internet connection on board ship isn't exactly that good. So I'm just gonna type in void spaces on ships, but I'm not hoping for anything because the internet connection is not not that good. So yeah, give me a second here. Okay, there we go. I'll just type it in. So we're still trying to remove this one. Puppy's doing a lot of methods here. So we can see here on that we've already almost opened the we've already opened the void space, but we're just trying to be careful here not to damage the the gaskets. Okay, there we go. So far so good, and we should try to open it easily. So you can see here the gaskets have already been opened or have already detached on the main lid, but we're just trying to be careful that it does not the gasket doesn't get broken. Okay, so I'm holding the handle here. Okay, Pumpy's still doing his thing, so let's just give it some time. So we should be opening it in a few moments. I think Pumpy's really good at using the crowbar. He's really, you know, like a surgeon. Yeah, he's really expert when it comes to handling the crowbar here. So, yeah. Okay, we've now opened it. Nice. We've kind of opened now the hatch for the void space. So you can see here, inside this void space, it's probably empty. Pretty much really empty. See? Yeah, Poppy's really pointing out that the previous crew just left some garbage on the void space. And yes, they kind of use it as more like an extra storage area for garbage. So anyway, yeah, so we're now, since we've now successfully opened up the void space, me and Puppy here are now going to get the equipment to ventilate the atmosphere of the void space and ensure that it's gas free, or at least ventilate and gas free. So we're just walking here on the aft area. Okay, there we go. Okay, sure thing, Puppy. Okay, so yeah, you can see here, this is the earlier void space on the port side, but it was already inspected, and we kind of stored up the oh, Wiper's around. Hi, Wiper. Hi. Okay, he's asking if Fitter, yeah, if I have seen Fitter, but of course I haven't. So anyway, this is the we had to get the hydro fan, which is basically a fan that is powered by water. We just usually connect it to our you know, to the fire pump line, which is basically also in turn used for you know, think of it as more like a sea version of a fire hydrant. You know, on land it's called a fire hydrant, but here in board it's called fire you know, fire pump, sorry. You know, I usually get a mental block when it comes to narrating this videos, and you know, you know, sharing my experience. I always get a mental block. I mean, I always do it correctly when I'm already on work, but the problem is when I come to these videos and narrating what I'm doing, I kinda, you know, kind of fell short on remembering the exact terms of those objects and lines. So anyway, right now I'm carrying now the fire hose to connect the hydro fan, but we left out the fire fan unit itself because it's too heavy. I can't carry it single-handedly, so I have to ask Pumpy for it. So right now we're just transferring or moving up the equipment used for the connection. He also has this air ducts with him. I have the fire hose, so I'm just going to go back here. Okay, there we go. Okay, back again on the sunken deck. Okay, so now we're carrying the main hydro fan unit. It's quite heavy actually. That carries around at least 5 kilograms. So the hydro fan basically is, think of it as a large electric fan, but it's not powered by electric. It's just powered by water. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of have you know, wrong, you know, I kind of hold it wrong, the hydro fan, in lifting that fan. So now I'm doing it correctly, so I'm just transferring it on my backside with my right hand. So me and Pumpy are kind of carrying it. So there. Okay. Da 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 da. Okay, so we're just gonna place the hydro fan near on the ladder here. This one. Yeah, we're kind of placing it there. There. Right, there we go. Nice, nice. Okay. So we're just placing it here, and Pumpy plans it to position the hydro fan. He plans to position it. It's more like by hanging. So yeah. Okay, there we go. We've already positioned and lifted the hydro fan on the ladder by tying it up with a rope. And we're using a very thick rope just to support the weight of the hydro fan. And I am the one doing the what do you call this? You know, tying it up. Make sure that it's properly fastened on the you know, on the ladder. So the next thing we're gonna do is basically assemble the you know, the hoses for the hydro fan, sorry. Yeah. So Pumpy is already connected into the fire line. I am going to connect it here on this outlet, which basically is actually an inlet for the water. There we go. I've already marked it in, so we have to you know, water goes in on that, and then while the water is inside that hydro fan, it basically turns on the fan inside it, and it does in turn making the fan run. Okay. So I'm just yeah, connecting it here on this outlet or inlet. There we go. Nice, nice. And Puppy is just arranging the hose. For me, I am going to arrange on the outlet, but that's a problem with this plastic hose. It's so stiff, I can't you know, straighten it out. Basically, this is the outlet where the water should come out. So it's powered to the hose here, goes inside to those fire hose and into the fan, and then the water needs an outlet, which this one I am holding right now, the outlet hose, which is made of plastic. You know, that's the problem if you store plastic too long. It gets too stiff, and on my case I have problems stretching it out, and I'll probably need Pumpy's help on this one. Okay, there we go. Well, Pumpy says that we can't really stretch it out. We have to go for the air ducts first, so we can do it later. Okay, so no problem with that. So the next thing that we're going to do on installing the ventilation equipment here is the air ducts. So yeah, Pumpy is instructing me to put the you know, other end of the air ducts on the air outlet of the hydro fan. Okay, I'm just going to change my position here because sometimes I think my position is kind of a bit wrong. So you can see here we're putting up the hydro fan. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to secure it and tie it up there on the outlet. I just grabbed a piece of nylon string here so we can fasten and secure it. So there we go. Okay, that should do nicely. It's a good thing that the air vents didn't give us a hard time on installing it, and the hydro fan was quick and easy to install. So we're just gonna, you know, put on the string here to secure it properly in case that it gets switched on, it won't come off. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's how we kind of secure the air ducts for the hydro fan vent. Okay, we're just, you know, securing it. There we go. We're just doing a little bit of loops on the on the air ducts. There, nice, nice. Yeah, we're doing it like a pro, but of course I've been doing this for a long time now, so I'm pretty much used to doing this kind of stuff. After all, the merchant marine is basically a maintenance type of industry, or it's basically a civilian industry that is involved working on ships. And yeah, that's kind of the funny thing. We always get mistaken for some reason to be military, but in reality, we're not military. We just shared some terms and English terms or definitions that is related or is also used by the military. But in reality, like I said, we're civilian. It's more like think about it as more like not all people who speak English are American or British. So on my case, I'm yeah, something like that. And okay, so we're now positioning here our air duct here, so that we can ventilate the lower floors of the void space. So Bumpy got inside, although honestly he shouldn't be inside there. But he needed to position the air vent or the air ducts onto the to the lower level so that we could ventilate it properly. So here I'm just going to secure it with a piece of string here so that the ventilation air vents would not be out of position, so just to secure it. So there we go. We're almost done, and now's the last part, which is assembling the outlet for the hydro fan. So yeah, Pumpy and I have problems stretching this one out because it's so stiff that yeah, I had to stretch it out a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So yeah, the outlet hose here is giving us a hard time. So but first we had to connect it, so Pumpy's kind of wrestling it. Well, actually both of us are wrestling the outlet the outlet hose here. He's gonna wrestle it and straighten it out while I kinda attach it here on, or connect it on the outlet socket for the hydro fan. There we go. So unfortunately my spy camera here is he's not exactly aiming at my hands here, but that should we got the job done anyway, so yeah, no problem with that. Okay, there we go. Nice, it's already fastened and secured on the outlet sockets. So there, yeah, Pumpy's telling me that the outlet socket should be put positioned or aimed at the sea, because well, it's just only seawater, so we can dump it directly. Well, actually, if you think about it, the fire pump that we're using, the water that we're if you're thinking where does the water come from on the fire pump, we are just basically suctioning water from the sea directly, and then it goes through our fire pump lines here on the ship and goes out here on the fire pump line. So basically, in other words, our source of water is well on the ocean itself. Yeah, that pretty much figures as that pretty much figures, because well there's water everywhere. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna tie this outlet hose here just to make sure that it doesn't come off or move around when it's pumping out water. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, that took me quite a while, but I did get the job done and kind of fast at it. So okay, the last part here is that since that the inductor machinery is, well, I'm kind of positioning the you know, the safety equipment here, but Pumpy just opened up the fire lines there, two of them, because the pressure on those fire lines is so intense that it needs another outlet so that it could disperse the pressure. In other words, we're doing that as a safety measure in order for the pipes that the pipes shouldn't rupture, because you know, the pumps responsible for the fire, you know, the fire pumps on board the ship, they generate pressure that is so strong that if it doesn't have any outlets, it would rupture the pipes. So as a precaution, you can see here, anyway, we've already opened it, so we're pretty much set up. So Pumpy here is just calling the you know, the bridge here if they could switch on the fire pumps, and basically telling them that we're already ready on the you know, you know, we're already ready on our work. So I guess that will be all for our you know, video for now. Pumpy just told me to check in on the other side and see if the you know, fire pump is working or running. So I guess that will be all. So if for the video, because we've already finished our work here, so if you kind of like my video, I would just like to ask a small favor, if it's okay to you, to kindly like and subscribe on my video. It will really help me a lot when it comes to you know, on the YouTube algorithm statistics, and yeah, pretty much that's it. I mean, it's a small favor, but it's a big deal for us content creators. So again, this is Operator 214. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll just continue on with our you know, our videos here, and yeah, what do you call this, and yeah, we'll continue on the videos and see how it works out, but it's just only a few minutes anyway. So you can see that the water here has already entered the fire hose. So you can see here, it's moving quite wildly and jerky, and Pumpy has to arrange it. So anyway, the water goes inside the hydro pump, I mean hydro fan, and then the hydro fan switches on, and that's it. We're now ventilating the void space. So we're just arranging it for a few seconds. So there. Okay, so everything's now arranged. We've kinda, yeah, everything's all set. Okay, there we go. So I guess that's all the video I could have to provide for now. Thank you again for watching, everyone, and see you again on our next video session. So bye bye for now. Bye bye. See you around.